Welcome to Real Estate Success Partner. We're your hosts, Devin Dubuc,
David Wynn,
and we're here to talk about how to have great success in every market. And today, the market is San Antonio. And Dave, you've got somebody really awesome from down there. Who'd you bring along with us today?
I do. I have a special lady. Her name is Monique Slater, and she's just killing it in San Antonio. So, hey, Monique, what's up?
Hey, I'm good. How you guys doing over there?
We're fantastic, and we appreciate you taking the time out of your day. We know that this is Good Friday, just to premise what's going on. And Monique's out there. She's got a ton of business, so she's running all over San Antonio, and she took just a few minutes of her day to spend it with us. So we are honored to have you here today.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Well, we appreciate you. So San Antonio, are you from San Antonio, Texas originally?
Actually, I'm not. I'm originally from Los Angeles, California. I'm a Cali girl.
All right.
Joined the military. 28 years later, they planted me here. We retired. We love San Antonio, so we stayed. So now I'm a Texan.
There it is. There it is. Well, and again, I told you this before, but I'm going to say it again. Thank you for your service. We appreciate you and everything you've done for our country. So thank you for that.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
thank you
absolutely,
so much.
Absolutely. So from California, uprooted to Texas, and now you kind of are a native at this point in time, right? You've been out there in San Antonio for a little bit.
Well, we've been here since 2007. We've actually moved 13 times.
Oh, wow.
From the time, yes. We've done a lot of tours, Belgium, Italy, Louisiana, Oklahoma. We've been everywhere.
Belgium, Italy to Louisiana.
Louisiana.
I love it.
Oklahoma. It. Well, Texas was our last stop, and this is where we decided to retire. Here in San Antonio, they love veterans, and we love that they love us. Yeah. They treat us good, and we have good health care here. So this was a number one stop. We decided to just retire and stay.
I love it. I love it. Well, I got to ask, you've been all these really great places, and people always love this. They like to go on a tour with you, right? What was your favorite, right? What was your favorite place that you visited?
Our favorite place to live, I want to say, was Belgium.
Really?
It was centrally located where we could travel to Germany, Amsterdam. It was just a centrally located place, and we loved it. We only could stay 2 years, but it was great. It was great for our family. But I want to say my most favorite place that I visited probably was Italy.
Yeah.
I was stationed down in San Vito in the south, but I traveled up north to Italy, and it was really great.
That's awesome. Well, there it is, guys. So if you're looking for some cool places to travel, check out Belgium and Italy if you haven't been. And, I hear that often. So at the end of the day, I know you're speaking the truth, right? You're speaking from the heart.
Yes.
So we're here in San Antonio, and we're, retired military. How'd we get into real estate?
We got into real estate because actually the secret is I've never rented a place other than when we lived overseas. So every time I PCS to a new location, I bought a house.
That's smart.
So I've been investing in real estate since I was 23. So it was just a natural transition when I was retiring just to get my license. And my intent was to get my license and buy more properties, but it just kind of blew up that I just started helping all of San Antonio buy properties.
That's awesome.
So right now I have 17 properties. We just closed on one last year in the Dominican Republic, apartment complex. So it's kind of my life.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's great. So you found an opportunity to invest in real estate to find financial success. And as a result, you dabbled in, hey, you know what? Let's help some other people, find the same dream that I'm living. Right.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. And we know you're doing a great job out there. We've seen your numbers. You've got very high performance. And, that's why we love to bring agents like you on the show, because you can help lead other people, right? Borrowers are always looking for, the right agent to align themselves with. But then there's also agents out there that are looking for, how do you have success, right? And you and I both know this, and Dave as well, right? It hasn't been the easiest market for some, but then you got
right.
outliers out there like Monique that are out there having great success. How are you doing that, right? When somebody else goes to you and says, hey, what is the secret sauce, right? What's the secret to your success, Monique?
Well, you have to first believe in the industry that you're in. And so right now with these high interest rates, people are still buying. And so you have to have that right mindset to know people still need a place to live.
Yeah.
And really 6.5%, 7% is not a high interest rate. We just
Not-
got used to the very low twos that will never happen again in
That's right.
our generation. Never. So when people are asking me, like, is this a good time to buy? Absolutely. And when I have saved up enough money, I'm gonna buy another property at 7% because, my first one, I bought a house, it was 13%.
Yeah.
And so we've seen the market up and down, and the best time to buy is right now.
Yeah.
I like to deal, I get a lot of my business from agent to agent referral. I love to connect with other agents in other states, other cities, and just connect with them. And we exchange referrals back and forth. That's where I get the majority of my business. And for any agent that's struggling, if you don't know who to call a stranger.
Yeah.
That's an agent in Connecticut or somewhere, and connect with them and really have true relationships with them. And they will send you a referral and you will send them a referral. And that's how business is made in this industry.
Well, you just dropped two major pieces of wisdom there, right? Number one was, hey, pick up the phone and make a phone call, whether you know the person or not, because at the end of the day, that's where you're going to find business, and we have a little motto over here: offers minus no's equals money, right? So,
Right.
what we try to do out there is make as many offers as we can, and we're going to get a whole heck of a lot of no's, but that's going to make connections. And during those connections, we're going to eventually find success. So, that's super smart concept, and I absolutely love it. And I'm glad that you brought that up, because a lot of people, they're afraid to make those phone calls, and then you said,
Right.
Hey, and it doesn't matter, just reach out to somebody that you don't know. That's so smart, because now you're building a relationship. And that's the other piece that we talk about all the time. This business, something gets transactional, but the really successful people, we know it's relational, right?
It's all relational.
It's all relational. And it's not just relational from the consumers, right? A lot of the business comes from the consumers directly, but it's also relational from the partners that we're aligning ourselves with. And Monique,
Right.
that goes back to what you said. If I don't have a partner, I'm going to find one. I'm going to reach out and I'm going to make some connections, and I'm going to find some business partners. So I love that. I love that you said that, because most people that are struggling, that's the one piece they typically struggle with, is actually doing the hard thing, which isn't so hard, right? And picking up that phone and making a connection.
And make that call. And relationships is not just for my partners that I meet from state to state. It's also local.
Yeah.
I also want to have good transactions, smooth transactions with that other agent on the other end of the transaction. So I'll make sure that, we get to know each other so that it's a smooth transaction. And if I have a resource for them, I'll provide it. If I find a good lender and I say, I find a good lender here, you should try them out.
That's right.
So it's relationship all the way around. And sometimes when I'm meeting other agents that are new, because I like to go to new agents, I help them out and say, hey, let's mastermind on what I can do to help you grow your business. What do you need? And that always pays dividends in the end. Relationships is the key to building business.
I love that you said that too. Again, these are all pro tips. So one of the things that I do personally, I help a lot of loan officers that don't work for our branch or our company. I'm we're in a community called the Mortgage Marketing Animals, and I do a lot of presenting, and Dave and I've been on and done some podcasts with them as well. And a lot of the times we'll drop some nuggets. Hey, give us a call if you need any help. Jump on my calendar, link them to my calendar. I literally have loan officers from across the United States that will just jump on my calendar every single week, and we'll sit down and we'll talk about what we can do to help them make success for themselves. And for me, it's not about the business. What's funny about that, Monique? From time to time, I'll get a referral. We're licensed in 50 states, and they'll send somebody to me that they can't help. And it's because that time they needed something, I was there to help them. And it wasn't about the money. It was about the relationship. And those relationships are what builds success. So I love it. You and I didn't have a lot of time to talk, and the fact that we're so aligned in the way that we do things, it always makes sense, right? The people out there that are doing successful things, it's not that big of a secret. It's just most people they don't know how to do it, right? They don't know what process to start. So love that.
Right.
Absolutely love that.
Yeah. And I want to talk about clients, relationship with clients. Yeah. Clients can smell it in the water. If you got that blood in the water, they can smell it. If you're so transactional and you're always about that dollar, they smell that.
Yeah.
They want an agent that's going to be real, honest, and candid, very transparent to them. Sometimes I have to tell my clients, like, hey, I wouldn't put my mama in this house. Why would I allow you to buy this house?
That's
They
right.
want somebody that's honest, that they can trust. And so that helps to build relationships also, because
does.
now all of a sudden, oh my God, Monique was the best agent. She, stopped me from buying this trash house that I really love. And I want her to help my sister now.
Yeah.
You have to be honest. You can't be going after the dollars,
Yeah.
because people trust you with the biggest purchase of their life.
Yep.
Hey, Monique, I know, but our guests don't know. A big part of your business is our veterans. The
Yes.
VA loans. How do they find you, or how do you find them? Is this just synergy? People align with people they know, like, and trust.
No.
How do you find
So
them?
I served 28 years
Yeah.
in the Air Force. I'm a retired chief, and my sphere of influence is large because I've served for so long and I've served at so many bases. So I know a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
So usually in the military, we already have this trust. Like, I'm going to go to war for you, and I got your back.
Yeah. That's right.
So that trust is already there with us. So if they have somebody that's coming in, a soldier, a sailor, an airman, they're going to call me and be like, hey, chief, I want you to take care of my airman that's coming in. Absolutely. And it just goes from, I'm taking care of that one airman. That airman has somebody else coming in. Your name just goes around, because if you're a good agent, your name's going to get around. But if you're a lazy agent,
that gets around too.
that gets around too. And you don't want that. You don't want that.
With that one.
Well, I
Yeah.
want to talk a little bit more, because we do a lot of VA loans. So I tell the people out there, especially the younger generation, hey, you know what? Go serve your military, and a part of the perks is, guess what? You get to move into a house with zero down.
Yeah.
But
and no mortgage
down.
insurance,
Yeah.
right? No mortgage insurance.
Zero
premium. That's
down.
great.
Zero.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, so what does it matter? 10, 20, 30% rate, at the end of the day, last time I checked also, I think interest rates was tax deduction. So, the fact that
Yes.
people are so consumed with rate, it's ridiculous. But
Well, this is another piece we've been talking about, Dave, is the history of what has happened with property values, right? So if you go back and you look at the last 8 decades, 80 years,
Yes.
we've only seen 7 environments where the home properties have devalued. Right. So
Right.
what does that say? And only 2 within a decade. So what does that tell you? It's a very safe bet to purchase a home, because we know homes appreciate 3 to 5% every single year, like clockwork. And effectively, at 7 out of 80 chance, what you're saying is 91.75% chance, right, that you're going to gain money with real estate. Those are
Right.
great odds. Those are great
Right.
odds. So to go back and talk about an interest rate at 6 or 7%, you said it best. It was Fantasyland a couple of years ago, because I've been in the industry for more than 2 decades. And at the end of the day, when I got in, we were having a refi boom, and the rates were at 6.5, right? And that was the best that had ever been seen. And so, now here we are in an environment where you can see a 6.5, a 7. But at the end of the day, is it a bad rate? It's not a bad rate. It's just a product of our environment. We built that thought process of, but I should have a 3.
Yeah.
Never happened before. It's never happened before.
But I have to tell consumers that are waiting on the sideline, you keep waiting, and that house that you could afford now, you're not going to be able to afford next year.
That's right.
Because houses will continue to increase in value. They're appreciating assets. And so when you have an appreciating asset, it will continue to increase
right.
in value. So it may be 300,000 right now, but it's going to be 325, 330, 350 next year.
That's the
So
cost
you
of
keep
waiting.
waiting on the sideline, and you're going to lose out.
Yeah. Yeah, the cost of waiting is what we call it, and that cost comes at an increase, typically 3 to 5%. And the other thing that we know, and we've talked about this a lot, but for every 1% the rates drop, it's going to bring 1 million borrowers back to market.
Yes.
And there's only 700,000. Around 700,000 homes in inventory in the U.S. today. So you start bringing all these buyers back to the market, you're going to artificially inflate the purchase price of homes.
Right.
And the buyer that gets in now with great representation, like Monique, right, because you're educating them properly, they're going to be able to get in at a great price for the purchase price of the home. They're going to see the equity of the home rising over the next several months as they've lived in that property. And maybe they took a slightly higher rate than where they'll be later in this year or early next year, but they could just refinance that rate. And they bought the house cheaper than the guy or gal that waited, right? The guy or gal that waited is going to see a higher purchase price at a great interest rate. I'd rather get the best purchase price and know that I can refinance that and match the rate of somebody who waited, right?
Right. And so 96% of my clients are VA, but that means the other 4% are not.
Right.
And that other 4%, I have to educate them and say, a lot of time they're waiting. I need to save up my down payment or whatever. And I was like, no, you don't have to. We have down payment assistance. We have grant money. We have bond money. We have a lot of money out here. As long as you have enough reserves to cover when we close, don't worry about the down payment. Yeah. And I'm going through one right now that she couldn't believe she actually got down payment assistance. And I was like, yeah, there's money out there.
There's money out there. We actually have a program, since you're bringing up DPA, it's called the Smart Buy. And it's an in-house program. It's called the Smart Buy. It's backed by the Sioux Indian tribe. And effectively, because we have their backing, we're able to provide a 3.5% to 5% second lien that's forgivable at 5 years, right?
Nice.
And it has no income caps, right? It has no restrictions on who you can qualify for the program. And so at the end of the day, even when you can't qualify for some of the state-assisted programs, we have our Smart Buy program to lean back on. We have two versions of it. We have a forgivable and a repayable. The repayable version is a little different because it has a second lien with a small payment, but you could use that to buy down your interest rate. So what a lot of clients will do is they'll max that thing out, buy down the rate a couple points so they get a really great interest rate, use the rest for their down payment, and now they've got a great rate and a great payment opportunity. And it's a great program. So you're 100% correct. If you don't have that state-assisted program, there's options out there. You just have to align yourself with great agents that know where to find them, right?
Right. Can you send me information on that program?
Of course.
Thank you. Because we run out of state money fast.
Yeah.
So if y'all still have money, y'all got an agent on your team.
There we go. I love it. Well, that's another thing we do here. Not that you're doing a lot of USDA loans, but the USDA loans, they'll run out of funds too. And because we're a bank and a servicer and have private capital, we'll still fund those USDA loans while the USDA has a hold, which again is valuable to the consumer. Because if you're in the middle of a transaction, all of a sudden you got to back off because the USDA is saying, "Hey, we're out of funds." Man, you're stuck in the middle of a process.
Right.
And
exactly.
You're really unfortunate situations happen there. And so, our CEOs developed that opportunity that I think is great for homeowners. They don't have to wait. They can get their money now. They can get in their house now. And it's about creative solutions, right? It's about creative solutions.
Absolutely.
Hey, Monique, just thinking of you and how you built your wealth, all those years in the military. We've done a ton of VA loans. Just because, my team in particular is licensed in 30 of the 50 states. Our company's licensed in all 50 states. But a lot of my veterans that I do business with year over year, they can't wait to get transfers. What's your typical transfer? About 2 years, right? So what do? As soon as they transfer it into that, they use their VA eligibility. They buy a house. 2 years later, they get renters in there. They just pop that thing into a conventional loan or whatever, and then use every 2 years they're buying another house with the money. They've only come up with one down payment, or actually no down payment. There's zero down payment. Excuse me, it's VA loan. So you need to teach the class on how to build wealth by the time you're out of the military, whether it's 4 years, 6 years, 8 years, 10 years, or 20 years.
Right. And I'm actually developing a class called Military Millionaires.
I love it.
Because I came from very humble beginnings. Very humble. When I say humble, at one point we were homeless. So being able to come out of the military with $3.2 million in assets was huge for me.
That's right.
And I'm the first in my family to have that kind of wealth. And it was all through real estate. But one misconception that a lot of veterans have is that they can only use their benefits once. And it's not true.
Yeah.
It's not true. I've used mine 8 times. So, yes.
And what a lot of veterans don't realize is too, it's called entitlement, right?
Yeah.
You can actually have 2 VA houses. So guess what? You have a VA house here, and then you go buy another VA house. As long as you haven't used your full entitlement, you're good. I think last time I checked, entitlement is like $750,000.
But this brings up a valid point, and I think this is why Monique's probably pretty specific about who she does business with. There's a lot of lenders out there that are uneducated on VA products, right? Yeah. And at the end of the day, they don't know how to advise their veterans on how to use those funds appropriately. And I've seen this time and time again. Lenders actually switching the veteran to a product that's not great for them because they just
Right.
don't understand it, right? And that's unfortunate. It's an issue in our industry, right? There's people out there that do that because they don't get how the veteran product works. So, I love the fact that you're not just, teaching your veterans, you're aligning them with the right partner so that they can create financial success through real estate. It's awesome. Hey guys, it's Devin
And David.
We're your real estate success partners. Hey, if you're enjoying these podcasts and want us to keep bringing back this content, we truly appreciate you following us. But if you could go below and subscribe or make some comments, we'd truly appreciate it. And we'll keep bringing back great content in 2024.
Exactly. And I've had to switch one of my clients. I remember from one of the lenders that she had brought to me because they were trying to have her do a conventional. And I was like, let's just go work with someone else. Why do you need to do that? And even if she had the 20% to put down, you could put that down on your VA to lower your rate.
That's right.
And
absolutely. Absolutely. No, it's smart decisions. And I love what you're talking about, building, wealth through real estate and utilizing the power of your veteran status for all those hard years that you put in, right? To become a chief. It's amazing, right? But I got to tell you, I'm honored to be, here with you today just because, you've done such great things with your life. Heard you mention that you were homeless at one point in time. And now, you've put yourself in a position where you've retired military with millions of dollars in investment properties. And now you're taking that gift that was given to you, right? You created it, but you're giving it back, right? That's pretty special. Like that's really special, Monique.
It's special to me to be able to educate, especially our veterans, because we're just not educated in our benefits, especially this benefit. I don't know why we don't educate our veterans while they're on active duty in this benefit. We get free housing allowance. Yeah. And if you would take that housing allowance and buy a house and, it's tax free.
That's right.
So wherever I can educate the veterans, I try, especially our younger active duty members, because they need that education to start building generational wealth.
They do. Monique, I love that you say that because I talk to so many veterans that are active duty and they go, "Oh, I thought I had to retire before I could use my VA benefit."
Right.
They think that. What class? They don't teach a class like that. They don't teach that's where you come along. That's why you're killing it with all the veterans out there.
For killing it for all the right reasons. You're doing well financially, but you're doing it for the right reasons. And that's a noble thing, right? We really love to meet people like you, Monique, because it's just a special kind of awesome.
Yeah.
It's a special kind of awesome because sure, you could be out there making a bunch of money and just, doing it for all the wrong reasons. You're doing it because you care.
She is making a bunch of money. Have you seen her production report?
I won't talk about that.
Yeah. Well, again, what's great? Everybody, the people like you that don't chase the money, but chase the helping out and doing people, the money comes. Every time we talk to top producers like yourself,
that's it.
It's never about the money. It's never about the transaction. It's always about the people and what you give and how you care.
Yeah.
And I've seen it's not given to you, lady. 28 years in the military and the way you work now, it's amazing. I bet you there's not a day that you don't work a 10-hour day.
There's not a day. I'm trying to get there, but no, there's not a day that I don't work less than 12 hours, actually.
But obviously, you love it because every time I talk to you, you're a big smile, happy, going on the move. So
that's right.
I do, and I love it. And even the fish that I don't catch, I know I've planted that seed. Like you need to do better with your housing allowance. So,
yeah. Well, you're a real American hero. Right.
Oh, thank you.
No, and I mean that, because, again, you served our country, but you're still serving our country every time you make a transaction and educate our veterans. And, that's it's pretty awesome to get a chance to meet somebody like you, Monique. So
I appreciate it.
Thank you for being you. Thank you for being you.
Thank you so much.
Well, let's talk a little bit about your real estate business. So is it just you? Do you do everything on your own?
Oh, I'm trying not to. So right now I'm the only producing agent on my team. I have a transaction coordinator and I just hired a director of ops to help me with client touch, everything in the background. But as soon as we get some procedures in place for hiring new agents, I'm going to need to hire new agents because it's a lot to be on the grind all the time.
Yep. I do understand. I've been in this industry for a couple of decades, and you've got to have a great team back there if you really want to, produce more business for what you do. And it's what I found is getting the right people in the right places allows for you to help more people, right? And it multiplies your abilities. And I think that's important here. Our number one core value at the Dubuc team here is family. And, for us, it's about touching families, about helping lead families to generational wealth, about the work family, the people that we spend all the time with, right? And having a great quality of life. But it's also about having that family time after the business time where you're there to help make your home heroes, right? Where you're there to build up the people in your personal life to create success for themselves and long-term success. And so you're 100% right. We got to get more people here to help you duplicate your efforts because you're doing such great things, but you also deserve that extra time off, to spend time with your loved ones,
Yeah, I have to say, I have been failing in that area and I'm trying to get it together. So, and my husband know how passionate I am about this. Yeah. And so right now he's in Florida golfing because I'm failing in the area of the balance, trying to find that balance. And he's like, well, you're passionate about this and I'm passionate about golfing. So I'm going to Florida. And so our core values is God, family, business. But I'm going to have to get that in alignment because lately it's been business. And so.
Well, I'll tell you what, it is hard sometimes to find the right people, but at the end of the day, with a personality like yours and just the take action attitude that you have, you're going to find that person, that unicorn exists. And, from that point, it's just letting go of the reins a little bit once you find them.
Yes.
And when you find them, because what's going to happen, I'll tell you this right now, I've got one that does a lot of stuff for me. They'll just be like, hey, get out of my way. I know what I need to do here. Go do what you need to do. That's when you found the right person. That's when you
find the right person.
Yeah. And
so if you know somebody, you can send them my way.
But I'll tell you what, when you try to find that needle in the haystack, it is difficult. You're going to go through a few people before you find the right ones, right one or right ones, right? But when you do, you're going to know, that's your click. And that's when life starts to get a little bit easier, is when you've got that additional support so that you can duplicate your efforts. Because that's really what it is, right? We want to do as much as we possibly can. There's never a project that's too big, right? We always want to just find a way to do better. And it's not about us. It's about helping the people that we're reaching out to. I can tell you have that same energy inside of you.
I have to admit that my admin team that supports me, they're amazing.
That's awesome.
They are amazing. And they know I work a lot of hours, but then they work a lot of hours too, and they don't have to.
Yeah.
So they're amazing. So I'm going to find that one or two great agents that's just going to take it and just run with it.
That's it. And that's all you need. Two other people that you can just know, like, and trust, and they believe in your plan. They believe in your vision. They believe in what you're about. Right. That's
right.
That's what you got to do. And that's one thing that we do here is we always make sure there's a good buy-in from the people that we're bringing onto the team. This is who we are. This is what we represent. And this is what we exhume. And if you want to be a part of that, we want you here. But if this doesn't seem like your fit, that's okay too, right? But this is who we are here. So I love it.
And I need it. A lot of people I talk to sometimes will say, "Oh my God, I thought you had a team of like 5 or 6 with your production." And I'm like, "No, I'm the only producing agent right now." But can you imagine if I got 2 really great producing agents, what we could accomplish?
That's right.
How many people we could educate and just. Yeah.
So Monique, let's talk a little bit about where we're at today. It's Good Friday, March 29th, 2024.
Yes.
The big topic in real estate right now is the NAR lawsuit. And I know that you do a lot of buy-side agents, buy-side.
Yes.
And the fact that 96% of your customers are VA, guess what? Veterans aren't allowed to pay commissions.
They're not.
So I want to talk to the expert. How are you handling this? What's going on?
So they're not allowed to pay commission and fees right now. I don't know what the VA is going to do to change it, but I've always had this conversation with my clients. I'm very transparent. We've always talked about commissions and compensation. So they're not like swiped by what's going on in NAR. The thing about it is when agents don't feel like they can talk about their compensation and provide value to their clients, they're going to be in trouble.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
They're going to be in trouble. I've had an incident just this week where I had to talk about compensation because it was a reduced commission on, I have the buyer, it was a reduced commission on the sale side, but I had already talked to her that this is my commission and my commission is non-negotiable because the value that I provide.
Yeah.
So at any time that we find a house that it has a reduced commission, you will have to make up the difference. So that happened this week.
Okay.
And so I had to go back and talk to her and says, hey, the commission is reduced. And we had already established rapport and talking, and she said, let's find another house.
Wow.
You know what?
That's
amazing.
awesome.
Guess what?
Yeah.
You know what? A lot of agents would be scared to have that conversation.
Yep.
Right.
That's what makes you a professional.
Well, she knows her worth, Dave. She knows her
Yeah.
worth. You know what you bring to the table, right?
Yeah.
And that's what
Right.
it's all about. And that's why you're going to continue to have success, and you don't have to have the same concerns as some of the other folks out there because you know the value that you bring to the table, right? And you know the customers that you're representing know, like, and trust you, right? And as a result
Right.
of that, they're going to want to see you get paid because they know what you're putting out there. They know what you're bringing to the table. And
Exactly.
that's why we feel pretty confident the great agents of the world, no fear, right? No fear, right? But if you're not bringing value, well, you know what? Maybe you do have a reason to be concerned, So we know that's not
Exactly.
the case here, Monique.
Exactly.
You got it covered.
This conversation should have been already had. Like the buyer's rep agreement should have already been signed. I'm having a hard time understanding. Like, is this new for some people? It's not. It's not a new thing.
It just
And
wasn't
so-
talked about, and I think that's where the problem came in.
It was talked about.
Here.
For every client of mine. It's talked about,
There you go.
and we
There you
go over it.
Like I said,
And so
here it was
Yeah.
talked about because you're a professional, right? You do
Yes.
what you're supposed to be doing here. And again, that's part of the value that you bring. But that's not the case for a lot. And that's why there's
Right.
that fear right there because they weren't having that conversation. Right.
Right.
They
They
weren't
weren't
being
having it.
transparent. And that's what sets you apart. Right. That's one of the things that makes you great, Monique.
yeah.
And secondarily, I think about that. Those sellers lost a transaction. She was ready to make an offer on a house.
Yeah.
I wonder
Right.
how many more transactions are lost because of 1%.
Mm. Or
But
less
the
than
house we found was better than that house, and it has a
Boom.
view. Like it's on the hill, and it has a view. It's beautiful.
Well, you know what, Monique? We just had a conversation with someone earlier today. You know what I said? I believe in God, and what's meant for you, it's meant for you. You can't run away
Absolutely.
from it because God's it's in your, it's His will. So what's meant for you is meant for you. What's not, it's not. So, guess what?
I agree.
They just got a better house, but
Amen to that. Amen.
She was glad. She was like, "Oh my God, I almost didn't get this house." And I said, "Yeah, I guess it was just meant to be because that one." But she owes me drinks on the back porch overlooking that view at sunset because it's beautiful.
that's awesome.
You're
Look
like,
at that.
I did the weekend card, right? I get to come
Yes,
over on the
yes.
weekends.
That's
Yeah.
what a great story. Going
Beautiful.
from losing a house that you think to a better house. This is the kind of stuff that people need to hear. These are the agents. I mean, believe it or not, the top agents are confident in their ability,
Yep.
but the majority of the agents out there, over 50%, are not confident in their. At the end of the day, here's the deal: 50% of the real estate agents only did 1 to 3 transactions.
Right.
That's it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the confidence comes in process and procedure, and that's one thing I'm
Yes.
confident you have there. You have a way that you do business. You do it
Right.
every time. We call it sweat. You sweat the process, and at the end of the day, right? Sweat is same way every time, right? Same way every time. Yeah, and
Every
at
time.
the end of the day, you're not going to have the same nerves that somebody that doesn't have a process has because you have a process for success. You built it,
Right.
and it works, and it's going to continue to work in any environment. And that's again why we bring on top tier agents because anybody that's out there doing big things, there's a reason. It's not by accident. You didn't just wake up one day and trip over, a ton of fundings, right?
Right.
You're
right.
doing a
Yeah.
lot of work to make that happen.
Yes. And
Well-
I'm enjoying it.
One thing we always like to touch on, you touched on it a little bit, and I know we're getting close to wrap up time. Family, you mentioned family life, and I know you said that you don't get as much of you, but if your husband was here with us right now and he was watching this podcast, what would you say to your husband?
I would say thank you so much for all of your support and allowing me to do what I'm passionate about. And I I think the term is hitting it. I don't know. It's a golf term he uses all the time, but he's living his best life. And I'm so glad he is. Sometimes we get to travel together on vacation, but when he goes off and he's traveling with his brothers, I'm glad that he's able to do that.
Yeah.
Life is short. Spend it with people that you love. And so we spend time together. He spends time with his brothers. And so it's a good thing. It's good.
Love it.
Awesome. That's awesome. Good stuff. Well, you know what? He's down there playing golf. You're out here making dreams come true. So, thank you for doing everything that you do. And we're super happy to have had you here today. Is there anything that we should have covered today that we didn't touch on?
No, I think we touched on everything, but if there's anything I can do to help you guys, you let me know. I'm always coming from contribution, and I'm always ready to help. If you want me to teach a class or if you want me to speak to somebody, I'm available. And, I offer that to really anybody that needs it.
We love that. And thank you, for the offer. Same goes this way. If there's anything we can help you out in your business, we're here to help out too, right? It's about making those long-term connections, the relationships, right? That's what it's all about. And now that we know you, we've got a relationship here. So it's been great getting a chance to spend a little time with you, Monique.
And don't forget, you owe me that smart buy.
You're going to have it before the end of the day, lady. I already have it registered.
Okay.
I'll be texting my team to send it to you.
It is on, though. In fact, I could send it right now. But anyhow, so let's do this. We want the people to know how to find you out there. First off, San Antonio market. Anywhere else?
I do San Antonio. I cover all of San Antonio and all those surrounding areas to include Church, Cibolo, New Braunfels, Bernie, Castroville. We have a lot of little cities that are attached to San Antonio. Anything else that's outside of my radius, although I can sell houses anywhere in Texas, I don't choose to. It's not the best option for clients if I don't know those areas. But if you need help with anything in Texas, I have referral agents in every city in Texas. So they can reach me by just giving me a call. Can I give you my number?
Yeah, let's put it in there. Let's get that phone number. Yeah. Let's put it in there.
It's 210-237-7268.
There it is.
So,
how about an IG, Facebook account, website, anything you'd like to throw on there? Because we'll put it on the lower third. So they'll be able to see it, and we'll put it in the description for the podcast.
Okay, so my Facebook account is Monique Slater 1. That's how you find me. Instagram is Black Label Realty, but it's like a little underscore under.
We'll find it, and we will put it on there.
Black Label Realty. And I think that's all we have right now because I don't use LinkedIn anymore.
No worries. We'll make sure we get all that in the lower third. So if you're watching, you already saw it because it's going across the bottom of the screen. And if you're not watching, you're listening, hey, just go to the description of the podcast. We're going to have all of Monique's information there. And, the one thing Monique said, she's a connector. So she's not going to do the loan if it's in a city that she's not familiar with, but she's going to connect you to the right person. And that's just the right thing to do, right? It's just the right thing to do. And another testament as to who you are and what you're about. But if you are in that San Antonio or all those surrounding areas, you better give this lady a call because you're going to get amazing service and you're going to be glad you did. And if you're a veteran, you probably already know her, but at the end of the day, you're in great hands with Monique. So Monique Slater, great to have you here today.
Thank you so much for the invite.
Dave, anything you'd like to say to Monique before we wrap up today?
Yeah, she may not do loans in other areas, but this guy does. Remember, our company is licensed in all 50 states, and we are the expert of VA loans on top of every other loan out there. But I do have something to say. If you are in San Antonio and looking for just a great experience, whether it's buying, selling, looking for investment property, or just wanting to learn, Monique Slater, guys, if you call her, she will. You know what's great about her? She will pick up or she will text you every single time.
Yes.
There has never been a time where you call her or text her and you won't get a response within 30 seconds. I think that's the Chief Slater in her, the military side of her. But
the discipline.
Yeah, the discipline. But what a great experience. Again, don't get it full, guys. She may have 96% of her people that are veterans, but she helps everybody.
Yeah.
This lady helps everybody. So call her up.
Yeah. Give her a call, guys. Give her a call. So, well, again, Monique, amazing. Great to have you here. And I guess let's do it. We're your Real Estate Success Partners. I'm Devin Dubuc.
I'm David Wynn.
And if you want to check us out, come out to realestatesuccesspartner.com. Again, that's realestatesuccesspartner.com. However, if you want to see the video, and I know we say this all the time, but you're going to want to meet Monique in person, come on over to YouTube at the Dubuc Team, or check us out on Facebook or Instagram at the Dubuc Team. And make sure to comment, make sure to give her a call, and make sure to leave some reviews. Until the next time, we will see you then.
Bye, guys.